Hello and good day, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever it is that you're going to be watching this extra special webinar. So I am Julie Hodge. Welcome to the Fall Kitchen Cleanup. This is all about the Pantry Raid. This is a very powerful method that you can use, once a year, twice a year, maybe every season change, for example, in the fall, to get into your kitchen and remove what no longer serves you, to instead replace it with that which will. So I call this getting rid of the things that harm to make room for the things that will heal. It's the pantry cleanup. So before I begin, I did have one question that I wanted to pose to you, whether you're watching me live or on the replay, and that is, when is the last time you actually went through your kitchen, pantry, your cupboards, and your fridge and freezer and cleaned it out based on your health goals? I would love to know the answer to that. If you want to plunk that in the comment section, whether you're watching me live or again on the replay, let me know. Yes or no? And if you have done it, when was the last time you did it? Because I know for me, I'm due. So this is why we are here today in this webinar, and it's packed with information, ladies. I'm going to do my best to keep it as concise as I can and follow through my presentation. Now, if you do want a copy of this presentation, by all means, please reach out to me, comment below, say presentation, please, and I will send it to you, or reach out to me privately. You can message me on Facebook or email contact@juliehodge.ca. And I may just put a link to it as well in our next newsletter. So welcome to the Fall Kitchen Cleanup and the Pantry Raid. Please feel free to answer that question for me, and let's just dig in and dive in. Now, the reason that the Fall Pantry Cleanup, or any time of year cleanup, is so important is that if you are a woman in midlife or approaching midlife, in perimenopause or beyond, chances are you've got some really serious health goals that you want to achieve. To help you achieve those health goals, it is time to get serious. If you want optimized health, then we have to be willing to put the effort in to support that health. And so I know that you want to feel good. I want to feel great. So one way we can do that is to set ourselves up to succeed. So try to put everything in place, put things in your path that are going to help you be successful, okay? And it's once you get into that sort of mindset, then you're setting yourself up to succeed rather than fail. And having a plan is key. I'm just going to adjust my shade here and see if it helps. Get rid of that. Let's see if that helps here. I still got it, but that's okay. Well, I still got it too. But anyways, so we're going to set ourselves up to succeed. And part of that is having a plan. So today we're going to give you a plan. I'm going to give you a plan step by step. So what you're going to learn today, you're going to learn the 11 steps to kitchen cleanup. One of those is going to be a little bit of a homework assignment when you're done that I'd love your interaction on. The second one is some label reading. I'm going to talk about all of the things to avoid. I'm going to go through a comprehensive list of the names of sugar, of where you can find gluten, of certain ingredients you want to run and stay clear of. And again, it all goes back to, if you want to feel great, which I know that you do, we all do, and you're willing to put the effort in to get to that great feeling place, to optimize your health, to reduce the things that are keeping you tired, stuck, fatigued, inflamed, hurting, unhappy, then this really is going to help. These things are going to be things you can start to do right now, as soon as you do your pantry cleanup, to start to turn your health around. So I really, really hope it's helpful. So you're also going to learn how to get organized, okay, and improve your health through cleaning up your pantry, your fridge, your freezer, the whole bit. I'm going to provide you with a list of my 5-star foods. So once you've cleaned up, and I'm going to talk to you about how to do it step by step, once you've done that, what are we going to replace those things that you've thrown out with? Well, I'm going to tell you today. And finally, again, what is gluten and the names of sugar? Just keep in mind, I'm not going to list them all out because there are literally, I think, 2 to 3 dozen different names of sugar that you want to watch for in labels. If you care about your health and you are serious about getting rid of the things that are harming you, this is for you. So who is ready to learn how to get rid of what harms and replace what heals? If you are, please type yes in the comments. And if you're watching me live, please type in live. If you're joining me on a replay on the website or on my YouTube channel, or maybe even in my Stronger app, please just type replay if there's a place in the comments. Okay, let's move on. I've told you what we're going to learn. Now, this is what you're going to need to do. When you take the information I share today and bring it into your real life and do it maybe this weekend or next weekend, whenever you have some time, you're going to need about an hour to do this so that you don't get rushed. So when you get into your kitchen and you're ready and committed to the pantry raid cleanup, 1 hour. If you want to be safe, maybe give yourself a little longer. And that's all you're going to need along with this presentation. So step one, first of all, I want you to decide what you're going to do with the items that you do not deem healthy, helpful choices, okay? So what are you going to do with those harmful items? Now, there's 2 steps to this because number one, we're going to go through and look for expiration dates. So chances are you're not going to want to donate those items to the women's shelter or to your local food bank if they're out of date. So you're going to have 3 bags. 1 garbage bag you're going to use for garbage, okay? 1 garbage bag you're going to use for recycling. So anything that's out of date or that you're not going to donate, you're going to use any of that packaging that can be recycled, throw it in there. And then you're going to have 1 bag for out of sight items. Now, these may be items that you don't want to throw away, and we're going to talk about what those ones are. They might be your roommates or your family members, okay, that you want to put out of sight, or they may be things that you're going to need, but they don't fit into your specific eating plan for healthful optimization. And those are going to go in the out of sight bag or box. You choose. Okay. So again, consider, does your local women's shelter or food bank want or need the items that may not be out of date, but may not necessarily be the healthiest option? That's for you to decide. But 3 garbage bags, get those ones ready when you set aside that hour or so to do your kitchen cleanup. All right. So what you're going to want to do as you go through this process is you're going to want to hide, eliminate, or move out of sight, okay, or into their own little special place, the following items: wheat and gluten products. Now, if you do not respond negatively to wheat or gluten products, this one might not apply to you. But if in going through sort of a healthy eating journey, you're finding that anything with gluten does sort of irritate you, you get really bad digestive issues or gas, or you feel bloated after eating it, those are going to be things you don't want to have. If it makes you feel like crap, it doesn't deserve a spot in your healthy eating plan. So you're going to hide or move wheat and gluten products, sugar, and I'm going to go through those list of names in a few minutes. Dairy is going to have its own special place. You're going to hide it or move it. Non-organic corn, that makes the list here. It can cause a lot of issues as well. And higher glycemic load fruits and juices. So what is not a higher glycemic load fruit and juice? Those are your berries and your citrus fruits, apples and pears. Okay, those tend to be lower glycemic load fruits. So those ones you can keep. Again, berries, fresh or frozen, apples, citrus fruit like orange, okay, and pears. Those are the keep list. Anything else, you want to hide them, maybe get rid of them or move them to a place where you're not going to be more easily able to access them. As we get prepared for our pantry raid, we want to make sure that we're looking at avoiding these foods. So what's going to happen? Let's break it down again. You're going to set aside an hour. You're going to have 3 garbage bags. We're going to go through in a step-by-step fashion and follow an itemized list. But when we do go through our labels, we're going to avoid any food that has these things on the label. And again, this is if you're serious about getting rid of what harms you and making room for what heals you, particularly if you have been suffering with weight gain, bloat, digestive issues, hormonal imbalances, inflammation disorders, autoimmune disease, anything like this. Seasoning flavoring. If you see that on the label, that's a toss, a hide, or a move. Natural or artificial flavoring. Okay. Some producers and food manufacturers get to use these labels or these label descriptors to hide out the actual ingredients. Okay. So natural or artificial flavoring could include a lot of things that they are not listing that disagree with you, cause inflammation, or are harmful. Also look for labels that include ingredients like hydrolyzed vegetable protein. We want to get rid of those, remove those, okay? And modified food starch. So those are the 4 biggies. When we go through the list, which we're about to do, those are the foods you want to get rid of or move or hide. All right. And again, if you live with somebody, you've got, family members or, roommate or what have you, obviously you're going to want to get their permission first to say, hey, I'm on this I'm serious about improving my health. Can I please hide or move these items of yours into a special spot? Now let's move on. So here is your step-by-step list. Okay, my friends. First is toss anything with a past expiration date. Now, you've given yourself about an hour. I would start with the pantry. When you're done with the pantry, move to the fridge and freezer. When you're done with that, move to the cupboards. We're going to go through this. But first, you're going to go through and toss anything that is past its expiry date. That's going to go in the garbage, okay? The second thing you're going to do is then, with what is left, this is going to take some time, I will admit. You're going to read through every label. Now, you're not going to have to go through things like your fresh produce because they don't have labels. But anything that comes packaged with the label, you're going to go through it. It's time consuming, but it's far better that you are consuming foods that are making you healthy and feel good rather than the ones that are making you fat, sick, and miserable. So we're looking at what harms, what heals. Okay, those are the scales that we're going to be using to measure these foods. So read your way through every label and make the choice. Okay, so maybe you're going to have a get rid of, a maybe, and a keep. And maybe the maybes are going to need a little more time for you to go through those labels a little bit more closely with a fine-tuned microscope. Then you're going to put all the gluten-free, and I'm going to go through what gluten is and where you're going to find it. You're going to go through all the gluten items and the dairy and the sugar items you have, and you're going to put those in a specific spot, okay? So sugar, we're going to talk about that. It's better to remove sugar completely. And of course, we all know sugar is very highly addictive. It's very inflammatory. If you want to talk about the single biggest food that harms us, that harms our hormone balance, it's sugar. So we'll talk about that. And then you're going to want to read labels for those extra items that don't belong there. Again, let me back up. Those are the extra items that don't belong there, okay, that I just shared. And you can have a copy of this if you'd like one. So you're going to go through everything with a past expiration date, read your way through every label, put all the gluten-free or the gluten and the dairy and the sugar items in one spot or get rid of sugar completely. We're going to replace it with some 5-star foods, okay? So don't fear. Read the labels for extra items that don't need to be there. And you're going to go and remove anything, garbage, anything that includes trans fat on the label. Anything and everything. And then I'm going to get you to check your oils. So I'm just going to enlarge this here to check your oils. And we're going to get rid of this so we can see what that says. So the good ones, okay, and let me just get into my captions. So we're going to hide these things, is you're going to move the avocado oil, the grapeseed oil, the extra virgin olive oil, the coconut oil, and the macadamia nut oils, for example, to the front of where you can see it in your pantry for cooking. And ideally, you're going to throw away the rest. That includes your vegetable oils, canola oils, etc. Keep avocado, oil of grapeseed, coconut, and macadamia. They are the best for you when it comes to oils. And of course, if the oil is past its date, you're getting rid of that anyways. You're going to replace it with an oil from our 5-star food list. So going back to those labels. Now, this is totally up to you, but again, harm, heal. If it has more than 5 ingredients on the label, it may not be contributing to optimizing your health in midlife. So the more serious you get, the more serious you get about label reading. So those are your first 6 things you're going to do as you perform your pantry cleanup. Let's go and move into the next few. All right, so that's gluten and sugar. Sorry, as I run through here just to find our next set of things that we're going to be doing. And we'll come back to all this. So step number 7 is raid the spice rack. So you want to keep what's fresh and toss the rest. Okay, so most of us have spices that have been sitting in our cupboard through 3 to 4 moves for years and years. Get rid of them. You know what? It's going to be so much better for you and taste so much better. Ditch what's old and purchase fresh. So make a list of anything you need as you throw it out, including sea salt, pepper, garlic, cinnamon, turmeric, garlic powder, ginger, cumin, oregano, all of those really good spices that we use in many healthful recipes. And those are some of our staples in the cupboard. Okay. They also have really good gut healing properties. So those are ones you always want to have on hand, but toss anything that's old, buy fresh, make a list, stick it on your shopping list next time you go to the store. Number 8, open the refrigerator and go through all of the same steps. So you'll recall, I said, we're going to start in the pantry. So steps 1 to 7, we're starting in the pantry. Okay. Now, step 8, we're going to open the refrigerator and you're going to go through the same steps. You're going to get rid of anything that's past its prime. You're going to get rid of anything that includes those 4 unwanted ingredients on the ingredient list. You're going to pay special attention to anything with 5 or more ingredients on the list. All right. And you're going to do that through the fridge, putting dairy in one spot, getting rid ideally of anything with sugar, especially if you're tempted easily and you know you're going to go in there, get rid of it. If it's not there, you can't have it. And guess what, my friends? We want to make it so that it is so easy for you to win and super hard for you to fail. Okay. So we're all going through the refrigerator. We're going to do that. If there's anything on sort of our elimination type eating plan that we do not want, which includes non-organic corn, sugar, gluten, those kind of things, just get rid of it. Say bye-bye for now. If it's a sugar-filled treat or a fruit-flavored yogurt, I would toss it. Again, we want to get rid of all those things with the ingredients we don't want and those things that are harming us, namely sugars. So those are never going to be your friend. Maybe they have a spot in your life once and a rare while, but as a basic common staple, they do not. Okay. So try not to leave that ice cream or those Girl Guide cookies open and easily accessible for you in the fridge or freezer, especially if you know it's too tempting. All right. Set yourself up to win. Make it easy to do the right thing. Make it extremely challenging to mess up. Step number 9, you're going to then, from the pantry and the fridge, you're going to go through your drawers and cupboards. We might have things hiding in different drawers and cupboards throughout our house. So are you organized? Let's go through and have your go-to healthful items at eye level and easily accessible. Those healthier things should be the things that are the easiest to find and grab. Okay. So move your lesser used items out of the way, out of sight, in behind other things. Make it hard to get to those things. All right. Get your best pans. Okay. Your best, newest, most easy to use pans, cooking utensils, blenders, magic bullet, grill, etc. Front. Okay. And easy to access, so that instead of thinking, you know what, I could make something really healthy tonight, but I have to get way up on that 5th cupboard and I have to go get my chair. No, bring the things that are going to make healthful eating easier front and center in your kitchen cupboards. All right. So let's do that. Okay. And then you're going to also make the kitchen a place that you actually enjoy being in, because you're going to feel more comfortable knowing it's cleaned out. You know where things are. They're easy to access, and it's going to make cooking more enjoyable and more exciting for you. Now, step number 10, you've gone through the pantry, you've gone through the kitchen, or the fridge and the freezer, you've gone through your drawers and your cupboards, and you feel like you're done. Great. You know what I'd love to challenge you to do? Take a picture of your reorganized kitchen, pantry, fridge, freezer, and cupboards and post it in our Fit Over 40 Facebook group. If you want a copy of this presentation, you're going to have a hyperlink right there where it says here that you can easily click and share your images. Be proud of the effort, whether it took you an hour or 2. Be proud of what you've done. You've just eliminated the things that can harm you, and you are really serious and on track about healing your gut, healing your energy, balancing your hormones, and eating like a healthy lifestyle nutrition person would. Okay? Now, step number 11, you're not really done yet, because we've gotten rid of a lot of stuff. Okay. When you do this, it is going to feel so empowering and you are going to feel so proud of yourself. So you've just got rid of all that stuff. What are we going to replace it with? Well, let's talk. We want to start by building your pantry and your fridge with ingredients and foodstuffs that are going to help you build healthy meals. Fast food, healthy meals. Okay. And meals you can make in minutes that are filled with wholesome ingredients. Canned beans, bone broth, ground meat, turkey, chicken, those kind of things, frozen veggies, frozen berries, healthy things like apples and cucumbers and fibrous vegetables in the kitchen crisper, those kind of things. And we're going to talk more about that right now. So let's back up here, and I'm going to go back to sugars and glutens. So before we know what we're going to replace things with, we're going to talk about what not to have. So what is gluten? So for many of us, gluten does create some unwanted digestive things in our bodies, but for many of us, we're fine. So if you can eat wheat, rye, barley, oat, corn, durum, millet, rice, and spelt with no problem at all, wonderful, keep it. But if you eat anything with corn and you get digestive issues, then you want to get rid of the corn. So gluten can be found in all of these items, okay? And you want to perhaps buy gluten-free. We're going to talk about that in a second. But let's talk about what foods do for sure have gluten ingredients in them. Those would be hot dogs, luncheon meats, pickles, salad dressings, canned soups, dried soup mixes, processed cheese, and cream sauces. High likelihood these have gluten in them. So those are the things you want to toss and get rid of, okay? Please don't be tempted to buy gluten-free products without reading the labels, because quite often we swap out gluten-free for a shitstorm of other chemicals. So you want to make sure that you are including the highest quality ingredients in what you eat. The gluten-free label can often be a magnet for marketers to know that it'll attract a certain crowd of buyers, but read the labels. And I'm going to share what you want to watch for in a little bit greater detail. So always your whole food options are the better bet. So if you're watching me live, please type live in the comments and let me know, when is the last time you did your own pantry raid? When's the last time you went through the pantry, fridge, freezer, and cupboards and tossed out anything that's past its expiry date, anything with things on the label that are not helping or healing you, and anything that's harmful? I'd love to know in the comments. So we're going to talk a little bit more about sugar now as well. Now, sugar doesn't just come under the ingredient name of sugar. I'm going to go through pages here of what to look for. I'm not going to read them all. If you want this copy of this, you're going to get the 5-star foods. You're going to get the 11 steps of the pantry raid, how to do it, how much time you need. You're going to get all of this in the PDF document, but you're going to have to reach out and ask me for it. And then you're going to have all this data there to use when you do your own pantry raid, or just in general, if you want a healthier lifestyle. So sugar, look at all this. I'll just throw out a few that are common. Agave nectar, it is sugar. Inflammatory, not your best friend. Cane sugar, coconut sugar, date sugar, ethyl maltol, evaporated cane sugar. Those are just a few. There's many. Brown rice syrup, brown sugar. Just because it's brown doesn't mean it's not a sugar and that it's not going to have the same effect as highly processed white sugar. There's fructose, fruit juice concentrate, another key word to look for on ingredients. High fructose corn syrup, we all know that one, but honey, it shares space with high fructose corn syrup, okay? Lactose, maltodextrin. I see maltodextrin on a label and I run. Sucralose, I run. Those are some of my common what to watch for things. Organic raw sugar, just because it's organic doesn't mean it's not sugar. There's more. Powdered sugar, rice bran sugar, rice syrup, sucrose syrup, treacle, tapioca syrup, yellow sugar, turbinado sugar. Tries to hide itself, but it's still sugar. Now we're going to move into artificial sweeteners. Personally, sugar is not helpful. It's harmful, but if I had to choose between honey and an artificial sweetener, I'm going to choose honey every day of the week. Here's a list of artificial sweeteners. These are synthetic, human-made sweeteners made in a lab somewhere. These, I can't even, some of these things, trichlorogalactosucrose, sucrose. It's hard to pronounce. Doesn't deserve a spot in your tummy. Shouldn't be going in your mouth. So here's a list of those. Lots and lots of artificial sweeteners. And some of these artificial sweeteners can cause really serious gut issues like leaky gut syndrome. It can be a precursor to things like SIBO, which is small intestine bacterial overgrowth, where what shouldn't be there is, and can cause a number of digestive issues. So a lot of things to really be on the lookout for. And if you're thinking, oh my gosh, it's so much, I just don't want to do it. It is so worth it. when you start to clean it out, because you're going to start to have that better hormone balance. You're going to start to have the better energy. You're going to start to sleep better. You're going to start to feel better. You're going to be the person who does not get sick every time a cold and flu comes around, because you're not clogging up your system and making it work so hard to protect itself against all of these, let's say, criminals looking at creating more inflammation inside the body. Okay, so whatever way you need to look at it is what's going to work for you, but be aware of what those things are. I also want to talk here a little bit just about restaurants. So, part of life is we're going to go to restaurants, we're going to order takeout, or we're going to do things that aren't always home cooked meals. So I challenge you, when you go to a restaurant, start getting inquisitive. Once you've done this pantry raid in detail, gone through the pantry, the fridge, the freezer, your cupboards, once you've done that, read labels, looked for certain ingredients, you're going to become more aware. When you feel good, the consensus among many of my clients is, I'm feeling good, I want to do more. And this is why stacking your habits and just starting with one thing is so powerful. Because if you do just one thing every single day, as if it is your full-time job to do it to excellent standards, that one thing is going to make you feel good. Probably going to want to do more things because that one thing makes you feel so good. Imagine what stacking new habits on top of that over time is going to do. So when you're in a restaurant, you're going to start to maybe ask about dressings and sauces. Ask, how's the sauce made? What's in the dressing, right? If you're in doubt, you can always opt for vinegar and oil, or balsamic vinegar and oil at the table. And at least then you've got more control over what that is, and ask for it on the side. Okay. Ask about what fats they use. What are they cooking in? Is it vegetable oil? Is it coconut oil? Is it avocado oil? How is it prepared? Chances are the more, I don't know what word to use, but the more upscale or health conscious the establishment, the more likely they would be to tell you. Okay. But feel free to start getting inquisitive. Ask about the fats that are used. Ask whether it's grilled, deep fried, braised, basted. Okay. Be that person at the table who advocates for her health, regardless of the opinions of others at the table. Be the healthy one. It might feel high maintenance at first, but it's going to feel so good, you won't care next time. All right. And ask with kindness, ask with love. You have a right to know how your food is prepared. And of course, the menu at a restaurant is just a suggestion. Chances are anything on it can be prepared the way you want. So ask for your chicken to be, to be broiled if possible, rather than deep fried. Okay. Ask for the skinless breast versus the breaded breast. These small things add up over time. Is it harmful or is it healing you? And that is, again, your scale to look at. So let's move on here now. And I'm going to come back to that. We're going to talk a little bit about the 5-star food list. Okay. Actually, no, before I get to the 5-star food list, I will go back to this and say, if after doing the pantry raid, you're realizing just maybe you need a little more support, or you're like, wow, there's a lot to think about here. Maybe I want someone to help me. I would certainly be happy to help you. Or you can consider, when it's launched, the Stronger app, because it is going to give you whole-based foods and give them to you every week and every day in recipes that are already done for you. So that all-in-one perimenopause app, the Stronger app, it's going to give you foods and recipes that are not made from 5 ingredients or more foods. It's going to be healthy, healing your gut, healing your hormones, optimizing your health foods, where you're not going to have to worry about those unwanted ingredients I talked about earlier. Okay, so if you're interested in getting on the wait list, reach out for a copy of this presentation. If you're watching this on the replay, just type presentation please below, so I will reach out and get you a copy. You'll be able to use this quick link to get on the wait list for the sweet specials that are coming up for those people who take advantage and are first to use the Stronger app coming up later this fall. So here is the 5-star food list. Let's start with fruits. So if it's on this list, it deserves a spot in your pantry, your fridge, your freezer, or your cupboards. We've got fruits: blueberries, strawberries, raspberries, blackberries, oranges, lemons, limes. I am going to include apples and pears on this because they tend to have a lower GI, and they also have the benefit of more of the skin, so you get more fiber. Non-starchy vegetables are the artichokes, asparagus, avocado, beets, broccoli, Brussels sprouts, kale, cauliflower, cucumber, eggplant, leeks, mushrooms, red peppers, tomatoes, spinach, green beans, celery, sugar, snap peas, not sugar, carrots, onion, pumpkin, squash, zucchini. And I will say that, for example, when I work with my clients, most of these foods, unless they bother that specific person's gut, for example, nightshades and things like tomatoes and red peppers may bother you, so eliminate them. But if they don't, keep them. So if it bothers you, eliminate. If it's fine, keep. But a lot of these non-starchy vegetables, I consider free foods. I consider you can have as many of these every day, whenever you want, as much as you want, okay? They're very low when it comes to calories. They're very dense when it comes to vitamins, minerals, and health benefits. So let's talk about fiber and toxin elimination. Always looking to increase fiber to help with digestion, to help with your poop, to help with all the other things that are happening inside your body. So rice bran, ground flax seeds, broccoli sprouts. These are some really great things to include when you're restocking your kitchen. Absorption boosting foods. Women in midlife should all be looking at having cultured foods, fermented foods, whether that is going and getting yourself some kefir, unflavored, unsweetened, of course. Okay, just kefir and having a little bit of that each day, or some sauerkraut or kimchi, the kind that needs to be refrigerated. Anything that says it's fermented that can sit on a shelf is not. You want anything that needs to be refrigerated to be kept fresh, and watch the past good dates on those. Pre and probiotic cultured foods. Really awesome. All of us in midlife should be incorporating those at least once a day. Throw some of the sauerkraut or the kimchi in with a stir fry. Throw some into your salad, into your Buddha bowl, into your shake in the morning, what have you. Sweeteners. There's two that I would approve of: monk fruit and stevia. That's it. High quality proteins, seafood and fish, egg whites, whole eggs. There's an asterisk here if you can tolerate them in your tummy. Okay. Some people cannot. Then you're going to look at egg replacements or eliminate altogether. Turkey, chicken, lean beef, bison, elk, lamb, and pork, all high quality animal-based proteins. Plant-based protein sources would include cannellini beans and other beans. You get the 5 bean blends, navy beans, quinoa, lentils, hemp hearts, a plant-based protein blend if you're looking for a protein supplement to utilize to get some more of that, okay? And when it comes to plant-based protein sources, we ideally want to make sure that we're getting all the amino acids. So with the plant-based, it can be done. It's more tricky. You want to make sure you're getting a high level of leucine and all of those essential aminos through non-animal food, sources. Also on the 5-star list. And again, remember, we are talking about all the good foods we want to replace in the kitchen from all of those that we ditched because they are harmful and not good for us. Healthy fats. So you're going to get rid of the canola oil, and you're going to replace it with avocado oil or extra virgin olive oil, coconut oil, ground flax seeds, chia seeds. Maybe even you got some grapeseed oil there. Okay. Hydration and liquids. Not fancy. We're looking at water, ideally filtered water. Okay. Green tea, milk alternatives, unsweetened, almond milk, cashew milk, rice milk, what have you, as long as it is good for your tummy. And one of my absolute favorites, bone broth, high in protein, high in collagen, high in vitamins, minerals, just nutrient dense. Get yourself some bone broth. Great for when you're feeling under the weather as well, to keep some good nutrition in your body. Omega-3 rich foods, generally in our very highly processed nutritional lives these days, a lot of us are lacking omega-3 rich foods. So you want to get those omegas in with your olive oil, avocado, salmon, fish oil, flaxseed oil, and chia seeds. Great sources of that. And then also slow absorbing carbs. So we're talking sweet potatoes. Beans make this list again. Lentils, quinoa, brown rice, steel cut oats, brown rice tortillas, sprouted wheat, sprouted bread, butternut squash. They're all great sources of slow absorbing carbs, which we need in our diet. Okay. So choose those over the fast absorbing carbs, which would be things like white flours, white breads. Okay. And that's the 5-star food list. So again, back to the beginning here, when you're looking at trying to feel better, at balancing your hormones, the ultimate solution is a whole foods diet filled with foods that are rich in nutrients, vitamins, and minerals, foods that heal, not foods that harm, things that contribute to pre-diabetic states, inflammation. Those foods really do not deserve a place in our healthy eating day-to-day lifestyle. Save those for the rare exception, but don't make them the rule, and don't be scared to make it easy for you to win and really super hard for you to fail. So I hope you've learned the 11 steps of what to do in your very own pantry cleanup. I hope you've understood the importance of label reading, how many ingredients or less make a better food than ones that have 5 or more. The 5-star foods, you're going to be more aware of gluten, what it's in, and you're going to be more aware of the names of sugar and what you want to look for when it comes to reading those labels. Okay, ladies, thank you so much for watching this. If I can help, by all means, please do reach out. Don't forget that Stronger All-in-One Perimenopause app is designed to focus on whole foods for women to help with gut and hormone health and balance, to heal our bodies instead of harm them. I'm here for you. Have a wonderful day, and I will see you soon.